What's up, folks? How's it going? Now, I'd like to do a video on ISIS or Putin or local bake sale, anything. But I'm left with no other option than to make a video about race relations in the United States. This is an issue, it makes me so angry. People in my private life get mad at me for being mad about it. But it's like, I can't fucking turn on the news. I can't listen to the radio. I love listening to NPR. I love listening to the news. I can't listen to the news right now because it makes me viciously angry. And it is because of this racist fucking bullshit that's going on right now. Where, I mean, I never would have imagined myself at 16 if I came back and told myself, you're going to be aggressively defending police officers in your day-to-day life. I'd be like, nah. But I find myself aggressively defending police officers in my day-to-day life because there's a general assault upon law and order and just general decent behavior. Not just from people in the black community, but also white people, liberals, these guilty people. I hate Twitter, okay? I swear to God, how I write. I can't prove it, but listen to me. I've never been on Twitter ever. I've never visited the website. I do not have an account. I've been told multiple times, man, you should make an account. Won't do it. Am not involved with it at all. But yet somehow Twitter has become a part of my daily life because I cannot visit any supposedly reputable news source without hearing something from Twitter. And something on Twitter that I heard about today that's going on is the hashtag crimin' while white. Crimin', whatever. The internet encourages bad grammar. Unfortunately, because these people are doing it unironically, it's no longer funny. They miss the point. But all these white people posting things about how they apparently believe they should have been arrested for something, but they weren't because they were white. Most of them women, by the way. I think it would be more of a female privilege issue than anything else, but I've been arrested for every crime I was doing I've been arrested twice. And both times were because I fucking was committing a crime and the police fucking caught me doing it and they arrested me. I went to court, was charged, and was punished, and paid the money, and did the probation, and did the drug test, and did all the other shit that everybody else has to do. The only difference between me and Michael Brown is that I did not attempt to fight the police officers and shit when they came at me over some legitimate shit. Now, most people watching this video probably don't think marijuana should be illegal, just like I don't think it should be illegal. But it is, and the police officers that apprehended me in the course of my particular situations were just enforcing the law as written. It's not their fault. And when somebody with a gun, somebody who's a uniformed officer, tells you to do something, you do it. You don't have to bend over and spread your cheeks, but I mean you have to do what people say. Okay, that's reasonable. I didn't have a negative experience with my arresting officers because I didn't fucking stiffen up. I didn't jerk. I didn't open my mouth. I didn't say some shit because that's retarded. Which apparently is what black people are teaching their children to do, is to resist the police. Now, on the issue of NPR, which is something that a lot of people consider to be a liberal news source, it swings back and forth, but recently it's been almost unlistenable. I heard the day after the Michael Brown case, okay, on the Diane Rehm show, which is a show. It's, they have a panel of people come on and they discuss the news. And this is the day after it came back that the grand jury wasn't going to indict the cop. And I came in midway through the section. Alright, so I didn't know who these people were. And I came in at about the point this woman called, and a white, it was implied that she was a white woman, talking about how she was had been concerned for her family. She lives in the St. Louis area, and there were people out and about causing chaos. And one of the women on the panel, I assumed to be a black woman by her voice, said, well, black mothers are scared for their children every night. So maybe it's about time that white mothers learn what it's like to be scared for their children every night. And I'm like, who the fuck is this cunt? I'm like, the reason that black mothers are scared for their children is the same reason that this white mother was scared for her children. And it's not because of the police. It's because of black people. When black people go to funerals for their children were probably killed by black people. Probably black children, not the police. And I'm not from fucking Massachusetts, or I'm sick of these ivory tower fucking people talking about race relations. I live in Detroit. Alright? I'm in the middle of it. So I see what's fucking going on. And it's really pissing me off. I mean, I was taught a lot about Martin Luther King when I went to school. About how, he was the shit. Okay? And I remember about how we're supposed to be judged by the content of our character and not the color of our skin. But it seems that people on the radical fringe of this whole argument are against that idea. They want people judged by their color. That's why it's not a police, they don't, they say it's a police brutality issue. Okay, if it's a police brutality issue, if it's a police state issue, then why is the headline always white cop, black suspect? Maybe it's because blacks are committing a disproportionate number of crimes. That is a fact. I did not do that. I have nothing to do with this. That is the reality. Whatever, do whatever you want. But now they want to make it my fault that they're committing a disproportionate number of crimes. Go fuck yourself. And I'm tired of hearing people fucking bagging on the police, okay? The police, for the most part, are just like anybody. They're like anybody else. There's a certain percentage of them they're going to be crazy, because any percentage of any group of people are crazy. But most of them are regular people, in the sense that maybe, alright, assume they hate blacks. They just hate black people. Just viciously. Just want to just kill them. I met a lot of people that are racist. I've never met anybody that wants to go out there and fucking kill black people. I've never seen it. But let's say that there's a bunch of cops that want to kill. Why are they going to kill these people? It doesn't help them. This fucking guy that killed Michael... I'm not even talking about the issue in New York. We'll get to that in a second. But the issue with the Michael Brown. The reason that he was not indicted is because he didn't do anything wrong. And in fact, the whole narrative was a complete lie that we were presented in the media, and the witnesses lied. They lied. He fucking wasn't shot running away. He wasn't shot with his hands up. He assaulted the police officer. He tried to take his weapon. He tried to run, and then he turned around and re-engaged. Who knows why? I don't know why. Maybe he was fucking out of his mind. I don't know. But he tried to assault. I mean, what would have happened if he had gotten the cop's gun? Killed the cop? With that, whatever. And people, they try to turn it into a whole thing. First they say he didn't rob the store. And then when it becomes obvious that he robbed the store, they say he doesn't deserve to die for robbing a store. It's like, first of all, yeah, he kind of fucking does. Because if the store owner had had a gun, he could have legally killed that motherfucker for the shit he did. But whatever. But that wasn't why he was killed. He was killed because he fucking fought the cop. Even if this motherfucker had come out of the store and the cop saw him push the clerk, steal the cigarillos, which cost like a couple dollars. Okay, you can find that shit walking around for fucking 10 minutes collecting pop bottles and shit. Maybe there's no deposit in Missouri. I guess maybe I could be wrong. It's not hard to get $2. Alright? He could have fucking bought the shit, but fine. Even if he had robbed the guy, if he'd come right out of the store and the cop saw him rob the guy, if the cop had said, hey, freeze, this is the police, and he had froze and not done anything, he would have been fine. Even if he was caught red-handed. He was not apprehended, he was not shot because he robbed the store. Okay? He was shot because he resisted, he just freaked out when the cop came at him because he's a fucking psycho. It's crazy. There's no people walking around defending white psychos, white criminals, sociopaths, just don't give a shit about people. That's what these gang members are. This motherfucker is a gang member. Most of the people perpetrating this violence in the black community are gang members. They're fucking sociopaths. Find a group of other sociopaths and commit crimes. There's nobody out defending white sociopaths. Only blacks. It's crazy. Now, if the issue really was police brutality, then fine, let's talk about police brutality. But that's not what they're getting at. It's a racial thing for these people. And by these people, I mean the people that are running this whole thing. Like this woman that made the statement that she wanted to see, she wanted to see white mothers scared for their children. Who, by the way, this woman was a lawyer with the NAACP, sent as a representative of the NAACP to speak for them. This is not the Black Panthers. This is not some crazy fucking fringe group. This is the NAACP. That's how they feel. They're not for the advancement of colored people. They're for the terrorizing of white people, which doesn't make any sense to me. White people aren't trying to hurt you. White people are just fucking doing what we're doing. Leave us alone. Most white people are fucking guilty, pussy liberals who won't do anything. Even when confronted with the obvious truth, they won't even defend themselves. And they're going to be the first ones that are fucking taken down, in any serious situation. But even, white people just, we're not interested. Nobody's holding anybody down. I hold the door open for a black guy just as much as a white guy. Nobody gives a shit about that. Only black people are walking around thinking about how about race all the time. Everything that is done in black politics is about race. And it is black politics because they identify only with race. Even when they go with religion, it's not just Islam, it's black Islam. Everything in black political leadership is simply that, black. While there is no white party of any significance, nobody takes the KKK or the Aryan Nation or any such people seriously. Only blacks and Mexicans to a lesser extent. Really, anybody that are not whites are given political representation based on race. And it's become absolutely fucking ridiculous because the reality is that the overwhelming majority of crimes, cross-racial crimes, this is a crime of white versus black or black versus white, the vast majority of the time is black on white. And it's also important to note that black people are committing an overwhelming majority of crimes. They're committing a majority of crimes while being 12% of the population. This is not a racist, fucking made-up number. This is what the FBI says. The number, The reason that this pisses me off so much is that when I say, okay, there is no war on blacks, there is no violence against blacks, there's only violence from black people in their own community. Not all people, but a small minority of them are committing a ridiculous number of the crimes. I talk to black people all the time. I don't think that they're violent people. There's a certain number of them that are committing most of the murders, most of the robberies, most of the assaults and the rapes. Certainly an astonishingly high number adjusted for population. We're talking about 12% of the people committing over 50% of these crimes, serious crimes. I didn't do this. I don't even fucking want to talk about this. They leave me no choice. You go on CNN, you go on BBC, the UN is concerned about the lack of indictments. You know what? The UN can go fuck itself, okay? Because you listen to the BBC. I listened to the BBC the day after the grand jury came back with its decision, and this British woman says, "Well, can we re-indict him? Can we re-indict him? You know, is there any opportunity to re-indict him?" I'm like, double jeopardy? Like, what do you? Everybody's already decided that he did it. Why is everybody taking this fucking guy's side? It just blows my mind. You know what? Then just get rid of the police then, I guess. All right? And we'll have mob rule decide what's going on. YouTube is an interesting place because there's a lot of videos of black people talking about this issue. And it's just really fascinating to me. I saw several videos of black people saying that, like, the race war is ridiculous. The whole idea of a race war, which has been brought up. I mean, I've seen this shit on the news. It's been brought up, and, you know, they're saying it's ridiculous for black people to bring up the race war. But not for the reason that it should be, because it's like, you know, we shouldn't be doing the race war because we should just all be Americans and fucking try to make this shit work. Right? But their reason why there shouldn't be a race war is because white people fucking have guns and know how to shoot. I mean, I'll put a fucking link to this shit. I'll put a link to one of these videos. I mean, you know, I'm not making it up. That's not the reason you shouldn't have a race war. You shouldn't have a race war because we shouldn't destroy the country over something retarded. But fine. You know what? If that's where you're looking at it, yeah, we got the shit. I mean, this is what let's come back full circle to Twitter. You know, Twitter, they had campaigns about how loot the white neighborhoods, loot the white neighborhoods, get them. You know, come by, please. All right? I'm right here. Please come by the white neighborhoods. Do it. All right? Find out what happens when you come through the white neighborhoods. You know, and unfortunately, the police, I feel so sorry for the police, and I feel so sorry for the vast majority of black people that are not involved in this violence, because these radicals commit violence. The police are afraid to crack down on it for fear of losing their jobs for enforcing law and order, so they let the blacks destroy their own neighborhoods, and it fucks up the lives of the vast majority of people that are law-abiding. But, you know, you think you're going to come through here and try that, try it. The police are not protecting black neighborhoods because they don't want to. They're not protecting black neighborhoods because they can't win. Why are they going to risk their lives to protect black neighborhoods if they're just going to be called racist for stopping black people from destroying their own neighborhoods? It's insane. It is crazy. And it's crazy in 2014 that I would be considered a radical for telling adults that they shouldn't argue with the police when they give them a lawful order. Okay? You know, I think that the police should wear body cameras, like all these people are calling for. And I think it's going to be a real shock to the liberals when the police wear body cameras, because what it's going to do is it's going to result in far more convictions for violent criminals for assaults on police, and it's going to get them longer jail sentences because they're going to see what's actually going on. But I also support the police being in pairs, so that when they get into a scary situation, maybe they feel less threatened. Because I mean, if you're by yourself, maybe in the Michael Brown case, if the guy hadn't been by himself, maybe he wouldn't have felt as threatened by the guy. Okay? Maybe it would have ended differently. But that certainly isn't this cop's fault. What was he supposed to do? He would have done the same thing. If you were doing your job as a cop and you fucking tell a guy, like, hey, what are you doing in the street, man? What's going on? Or whatever you said. Maybe you don't think that's a reasonable enough reason to talk to somebody. Fine. Maybe he's a dick. Then just say, okay, I'm sorry. And continue on your way. That's not what he did. You confront a guy and you say, hey, what are you doing walking in the street? And he fucking assaults you and tries to take your gun and then flees and then attempts to re-engage you after already assaulting you and attempting to take your weapon. Do you think if Michael Brown had gotten that weapon that he wouldn't have shot that cop, killed him, and left his children with no father, or his child with no father, and his wife, with no husband? Do you think he would not have shot him? And would anybody have said anything about that? It's just crazy to me. It's like, oh, you can't know what would happen. What's the intention? Tell me the intention when a person resisting arrest attempts to grab a police officer's gun. You're telling me the intention isn't to commit murder? So, I don't know. The whole thing is fucking crazy. I just want to just do regular shit. But certain radicals in this situation, these people, whoever are running the NAACP, read about them. Read about what groups they're involved in. Look at the people that are leading all these social media campaigns. Look at the white people in the colleges. What groups are they involved in? What are they doing? Start to see the patterns. These are people that are anti-everything in this country. They want to see chaos. They will use minorities, the blacks, to their own political advantage. Okay, which is what they've always done, and they're doing so well right now. It's shocking. I don't know, but whatever. I just want to. I don't know. Whatever. So this is Chris telling you to just do whatever you do, man.